Hi everyone, I'm Jess. This is my channel Chilling Like a Villain, and this is my book nerd. Hi everyone, I'm Jess. Welcome back to my channel Chilling Like a Villain. This is my book nerdathon wrap up. Now, I set myself a really ambitious TBR for this because I have so many books in my December TBR anyway, and I wanted to just sort of get through them all. I didn't get through that many. There were 10 challenges, and I read 2.5 books. But I was really busy, so that is my excuse. So let's get on to the books that I read. First, I read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This follows Mary Lennox, who, after she's orphaned, moves from India to her uncle's house, which is a great big manor house in Yorkshire. And it's about how she starts off really sort of spoiled and bratty and really kind of neglected as well, and sort of how her character develops and grows through finding friends and finding a secret garden, which she helps bring that to life. And yeah, it's really nice. It's a really sweet book. I really like Frances Hodgson Burnett's writing because it's for children, but it's not patronising. You can read it at any age and understand the message. It's not sickly sweet or anything like that. It's just like the right amount. And Mary I love as a character because she starts off as this really sort of grumpy little child who's not very nice, and it's kind of nice to see a character who's a bit mean, a bit horrible. Overall, I think I gave this book 3.5 stars, and I think the reason for this was that I enjoyed A Little Princess by the same author so much, and I gave it 5 stars, but I was expecting, I worked this one up in my mind, and then it sort of didn't reach that standard. There were parts that I really did love though, so that's why it's a 3.5, almost 4, because there were bits where it was just really wonderful. Then I read an ebook, so I can't hold it up, but I read Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. This is a book that follows Melinda, who goes into 4th, 9th grade. I'm English, I don't know. She's 14. And she goes into her new school year with no friends, and there's rumours about her calling the cops at a party, so no one likes her, no one wants to sit with her. And throughout the book you kind of learn that there's some reason why she's done this. There's something that's happened to her, and it's her journey learning to speak about that, hence Speak. So yeah, there is trigger warnings for this book for certain stuff, but it's a really good book. I think again I gave it 3.5 stars, which is solid. Like, that's a good book for me. And again, I think this was to do with me comparing it to the one other Laurie Halse Anderson book that I've read, which isn't really fair because it was written, I think it was written before it, and it's, yeah, because I love Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson, and I gave that 5 stars, so when I started Speak, I thought it was going to be at the same level. For me personally, it wasn't. I can understand why it's people's favourite book because it is a really, really good book. I was just expecting just a little bit more because it's very easy to read. And on one hand, that's good because it's from the point of view of a 14-year-old, and that is how she speaks. But I think that maybe it was just because I'm older than that. I'm 21, so it was a bit, I don't know. Yeah. But it was very good, and I do highly recommend it. And it also did not help that I'd seen the film already, so I kind of knew everything that was coming, because it is such a short book, so kind of everything that happens in the book happens in the film. So yeah, I kind of was not as invested because I knew everything that was going to happen, but I do recommend both the book and the film. Then I started, but did not finish, but I'm just including to tell you, I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. This follows Cassandra Mortmain. She's 17 in the 1930s, and she lives with her very eclectic family in a castle. And their lives are kind of samey. They haven't got a lot of money. They're really desperate. And then one day, two American brothers come to visit. They have moved in up in the village, and they come to visit them, and their lives change drastically forever. Um, I went into this book with such high expectations. I have a physical copy, but I listened to it on audiobook, and I honestly think that I wouldn't have been able to read it if I read it physically. And I just didn't connect to it as much as I thought I was going to. It is a coming of age story for this girl, but I don't know. There's something about it where there was just some kind of block. Also, there was certain romantic aspects that were quite heavy because it is her journey through adolescence and discovering romantic feelings. But that meant there was sort of two love interests, kind of. Not to spoil anything, but the one that it was primarily focused on was not the one that I liked. There was another one. So yeah, so maybe that hampered my liking for it, because when you just want to say, there's this guy that's right in front of you. But yeah, I don't know what it was about this book. I didn't really connect to it. I found it quite boring in parts because there were bits where I didn't really understand what was happening, and it kind of dragged on a little bit. And yeah, so it wasn't really as good as I thought it was going to be. Maybe that's my problem. But I find often when not when you overhype a book, but when you're really excited for a book and you think it's going to be really good, sometimes that can help you to enjoy it. But that did not happen with this one. I didn't finish it. I got most of the way through. I have since finished it. But yeah. So overall, it was a good enough reading week considering I was busy and I wasn't at home for the last day. So I read 3 books in a week whilst I was working and whilst I was busy, so that's quite good. I got through some books that I wanted to get through that were on my TBR, and the books that are first in the series I was going to read, like Cinder and Percy Jackson, I think I'm going to save till next year because that's easier for me, so that I can try finish some of the series I already read. So yeah, that was my wrap up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.